All right, hey there, viewers. So I thought about waiting till my next oil change to do my oil analysis video. But I guess a lot of people in the comments were asking, "Hey, what's the oil analysis on the on my Rav4 using 5W30?" Well, I have it right here. It's on my phone. I'm not due for an oil change, so I'm only at since my last oil change. It has been 3,700 kilometers, and my total mileage is 29,000 right now. Uh, and then a lot of people were asking how is has have I noticed anything? Um, well, one, fuel economy hasn't really changed. It's like 9 degrees in my garage right now. It's in the negatives outside. Um, well, negative. I think it's -3 right now outside, so below freezing. I'm getting 6.1 right now. I just filled up the tank, but my last one was 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers. But I do a lot longer trips now that I'm going to work because I do drive quite a distance to get to work. So my average was 5.8 that last tank of gas. Right now, I've put about almost 100 kilometers and I'm getting 6.1. So anyways, I guess we'll get right to the oil analysis results because I'm updating my audio unit. Well, trying to with the Toyota website right now. So I'll put the results up on screen and then I'll just, read it to you guys, I guess. So this is actually the first time I've ever used like somebody to do an analysis on your oil. So one thing I notice on the oil analysis, they don't include steel. And steel can be from timing chains and, cam gears and sprockets. So yeah, there's no steel. And then there's also wear items like timing chain guides, because timing chain guides can be fiberglass or some kind of high temperature plastic, nylon or whatever. That's not also not on here. That's the other thing. But as you can see, I will read the comments what they say because they leave you a comment. So we're not sure how your engine was doing on the 0W16, so we can't say if the 5W30 is treating it any better. But this first sample looks good, so we can say this engine looks good in the first round of testing. The materials are reading within average ranges, with average being based on 10,000 kilometer oil runs. The viscosity reading a little thin, maybe due to residual 0W16 in the sump, because it is my first change with 5W30 from 0W16, so there could be residual 0W16 in the in the engine remaining, but that shouldn't have hurt anything. The trace of fuel dilution is no problem since that can come from normal use. So I guess I have traces of fuel dilution. I can smell it, especially when I was in parental leave. I was doing a lot of short trips. The engine doesn't really get up to operating temperature. And then the TBN's good at 5.2. Nice first report, good engine. So they don't see any issues there. Aluminum, I have 6, I guess it's in parts per million. Yeah, parts per million. Universal average is 6. So aluminum, chromium, iron, or well, let's say aluminum, where it's coming from. Aluminum's from cam towers, or, because the cams spin or rotate in a bore in the cylinder head, which is aluminum. That's could be aluminum, or what do you call it? Piston, pistons, stuff like that. I don't know, whatever's made out of aluminum. Chromium, I got 0. There's nothing there. But chromium, I think it's just a hardening process on the, say your camshafts, the lobes and everything. Yeah, it's crank hardness. Iron, copper, and lead, and tin. Those would be your bearings. Copper, iron, I have 6 parts per million. And then universal average says it's 6, so it's lower than the universal average on iron. Iron can be from your valve train, cylinder bores if they're sleeved. Yeah, what else could be in iron, right? And then copper, lead, and tin would be your bearing material. So I have 2 parts per million for copper, right? Bearing material would be just from your main bearings, rod bearings, wrist pin bushings. What else? Yeah, that's all I can think of. copper, lead, and tin. So I got 2 parts per million in copper, and the universal is 3. So less there as well. None in lead or tin, so there's nothing there. Molybdenum, or friction reducer, whatever. I can't remember what that is. Let's see. Those are from the oil. Basically, everything down is additives. There's silicone 14. The thing is with silicone is it can be from anywhere, like the grease from your oil filter, because Toyota likes to put silicone grease on the O-ring on the oil filter. But some engines, they cast silicone in the liners of the cylinder bore. Oh, high end engines, I guess. Yeah, and then what else is there? Calcium is a detergent, sodium's a detergent, magnesium's a detergent, phosphorus is anti-wear additive, zinc is an anti-wear additive, molybdenum is friction reducer, boron is a friction reducer. Let's see. Manganese is valve guides. And then let's go down to wear properties. They said that, what is it? The viscosity reads a little thin. Is 5.1. Value should be between 55 or 51 point, or the value is 51.2, but it should be between 55 to 63. And I think that's what they mean by the viscosity readings on the oil I took out is thinner, or reads a little thin, because of the 0W16 or because of the fuel dilution. But it shouldn't be an issue. Flash point of the oil is 385. In Fahrenheit. There you go. Fuel, they just put TR. I guess this is trace. No antifreeze, no water. Insolubles, they put TR, and TBN 5.2. So that is my oil analysis reading, which I think they should have steel in there too, and then nylon or some kind of plastics for valve guides, because there are plastics inside the engine too. If you ever tore engines apart, because I do tons of them at work, so that's not on there. But from my oil analysis reading, it looks pretty good. So I wish I had taken a 0W16 sample before I put 5W30, but I do have a 0W16 oil sample, and that is from my friend's, I think it's a 2024 Sienna hybrid, which is the same engine, same drivetrain in there. And he's at 18,000 kilometers on it. He wanted to take his car to the dealership for the first oil change. So he was able to get me to drain a little bit of it for a sample to set it into Blackstone Labs, so I can get a sample for that too. And then, yeah, he's just going to take it to the dealership to get his first oil change done, because that technically at 16 or 10 over, he's at over 10,000 miles on that oil. Actually, no, I changed it at 8,000. So that's his second oil change technically. So I can get a sample from there, because that's basically when I switched over to 5W30. So I can get a sample from that. And then I'm going to send it into Blackstone, and we can compare my 5W30 oil analysis to his 0W16 oil analysis. So that will be in the next video. I'm just kind of busy. I'm so tired. Anyways, it's been busy for me. I'm doing my best to keep up with all the videos I do at work, and then also the videos that I'm doing at home. But bear with me. It might be taking a while. I also have to send that 0W16 sample to Blackstone Labs, and that cost me about $100. It cost me $100 to send it down, because the cost of the oil analysis is $50 US, which is like about 70. I think it's $78, something like that. $78 Canadian, and then I have to ship it by UPS ground, and then that takes like about a week or so, and then that also cost me about 30 something dollars Canadian. So yeah, it's about 100 something bucks to send my oil sample down to the US, or the total cost. So that's how much it costs. But yeah, I know. So let me know down in the comments if you guys did your oil analysis on your 0W16 oil, and what the results are, and then how are they compared to my 5W30 when I got it. Well, when did I change it? I think it was at 20. No, I changed it at around 16,000 kilometers. I gotta relook at when I did my oil change on my video. the the only way I can remember is watching my old videos. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what do you think. My readings are pretty low, so it's not it's lower than the universal average of people. I guess the universal average is just like the results of other people taking it, but it is lower in bearing wear material, which, you know, everything feeds the bearings first in the bottom end before it reaches the top, right? And then also I'm running 5W30 during the wintertime, and it's in the negatives right now. So I don't know. Do you want me to send my oil analysis for my winter oil, or yeah, for the winter oil that I put, or not winter oil, running 5W30 during the winter time. See how that goes for, I guess, wear. Let me know. And then actually, if I go, you know, maybe a little longer, to see if I could do like the 10,000 kilometers and see if has the same amount of wear metal as what they said on the oil analysis in the comments, because they base it on a 10,000 kilometer oil change interval. So yeah, maybe I'll send 2 more samples there, because they did, after I got my results back, they also sent me 2 more test kits, or free test kits. So yeah, anyways, I hope this video was, you know, answer a lot of people's questions. And then also people were saying, you know, your engine's gonna seize, it's gonna ruin your variable oil pump. They said it's electronic. These aren't electronic oil pumps. These oil pumps are mechanical, and the amount of flow that comes out of these oil pumps are based by engine speed. So if you're idling, it lowers the output of the pump, and then higher RPMs, it outputs more, you know, more flow out of the pump to create higher pressure. Pressure is based on resistance to flow, so your clearances, which I had hooked up my scanner to see how much oil pressure it has. It's running on 5W30, and it's running around 18 psi. So I think that's pretty good. So yeah, anyways, all those people who are saying that, you know, oil is going to ruin or seize up your engine, it's going to ruin your valve timing, it's going to ruin your variable valve or variable oil pump, all that kind of stuff, that's not going to happen. But, you know, I guess people who ask me about, oh, the car care nut says this, and then well, I mean, technically he is right. You should follow recommended oil from the manufacturer, I guess, because they know best, right? But yeah, if you don't know what oil to put in, just go by the manufacturer. I'm just doing this because I just want to answer. Supposedly it was supposed to be. So it was supposed to be from my curiosity, just to find out if 0W16 was going to change in fuel economy, which I haven't noticed anything. But I guess it got full blown onto, you know, people who just started hating on the video because people think I don't know what I'm talking about, all kind of that stuff. So for me, it was just if you don't know, you got to find out, right? And when you find out, then you know. that's people have curiosities and they want to know, right? So especially like all these people on the comments are saying they want to know what happens, right? So anyways, it only started out as like a fuel economy video, but it ended up turning out to be something more, I guess. But and then the oil, what do you call it? What's his name? The oil geek guy, the motor oil geek. Yeah, he put out a video about some AI. What do you call it? AI video about some oil video, and they used part of my video of me when I was putting. Well, actually, I could put a picture of it. He used part of my video as in like his AI video, and I'm like, hey, I'm not AI. I'm a real freaking person. But at least, you know, my funnel, my orange funnel that I had for years is famous, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, let me know down in the comments what you guys all think. yeah, if you guys did your oil analysis, then yeah, let me know what your readings are for 0W16 or whatever oil you're putting on, 0W20 or stuff like that. But yeah, I guess hope this video answers a lot of your questions. There's also people asking me if I notice anything with 5W30. The only thing I notice is it's quieter. Right now the engine's running. It's kind of like, it's not as clattery. I don't know. And then fuel economy seems to be the same. No difference in acceleration because I don't know. I haven't noticed anything. It hasn't. There's no ill effect of switching to 5W30. But yeah, anyways, I still got to update my audio unit. I have my laptop over here, so yeah, I always check my audio updates, see if there's any software, because a lot of times there's software. And then there's like, I think there's two recalls on this thing. I got to take my car in for recalls. The one for this going blank, and then the backup camera. So it's 2 recalls. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was informative or answer some of your guys' questions. And I will see you in the next video, depending on what it is. Another oil burning video on a V6 or head gasket on a 1.5 liter turbo. I'm just going to use my head cam on everything now. I got a JDM car that came in for a misfire that I'm editing a video for. The Kingbolen scanned it, but anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.